if you could start with a brief introduction, just chat through who you are, where you're based, who are your clients, what do you do, your role and responsibilities, anything you feel you want to share about yourself.
It's a pleasure to be here. Primarily, after 8 years in SaaS marketing teams and driving demand generation content programs to growing a lot of SaaS companies, I recently started my own agency where we mostly help a lot of like founders and marketing teams take a lot of like new approach into marketing. That means we invest a lot of time in helping them become a thought leader on LinkedIn or sorts and ensure they are more authentic as a brand. We help them build very customer focused, ICP focused, authentic content. Along with that, we also take care of a lot of their middle of the funnel optimization to ensure that the leads convert into opportunity. We mostly work with them to, again, as a part of that programs, we usually end up taking a lot of nurture campaigns ourselves into it, along with content requirements on top of that. So we mostly work with a lot of growth stage tech companies. We primarily also specialize in tech companies focused on consumer businesses. It can be e-commerce, food, retail, healthcare, sustainability, and general martech, ad tech products as well. That's a bit more about me and what we do. Yeah, we are based in actually a small town Norwich, right across Cambridge, and we mostly work with companies in the UK to grow within the UK, and most of the companies who also wants to enter US market.
Makes sense. And could you describe me when was the last time you helped implement organic growth campaign and specific client? So when was the last time? Maybe it was a week ago. And could you describe a bit in detail, like that specific time?
Sure, I can talk about the recent project that we did. There was a company who was primarily building integrations of AI and bringing AI into e-commerce operations in run. That's with respect to a lot of e-commerce businesses faces issues now, especially that they're dealing with a lot of data problems, data silos, trying to understand customer journey across the table. Their teams are very much equipped with a lot of requests day in and day out, and they need help more than ever to really optimize their time better. So we took this case of this company called as Zoco.io, and their primary need of the hour was a lot of their existing acquisition campaigns were more focused on what their product was doing and all their benefits and features. We told them this is not how you should really go about it, right? Basic fundamental is that you should really talk about your processes. You should really talk about how you're really changing somebody out there who is looking at that particular problem day in and day out. You should definitely leverage your voice in it. When we took this project, we realized that there was two things that we primarily did, right? We had to work with the founder to ensure he becomes a sounding member of what problem they're solving and how they're solving it and what really unique POVs that they're talking about in the market. Because along with a lot of huge programmatic content which was being written on the website, there was no personal side of the table at all for the brand. So that's where we actually took them, the founder and a lot of executives, and then converted them into voices on LinkedIn.
What steps did you take in that organic growth campaign with this client at that time?
Sure. First, we had to dig a lot into understanding their ICP. Second, recording a lot of customer calls and understanding the tone of the customer. Three, we used AI in itself to do a lot of market intelligence and be a sounding board every day on different communities and social platforms to really understand how people are really approaching the problem and how they can really add value to those conversations. By taking a lot of these data, we understood that not many people are really helping a lot of small businesses or medium businesses in this process, right? Where they're actually looking out for content on social media more than Google, right? Because they're done with the ton of information that you're finding on Google. Even ChatGPT sometimes it may give the stepwise process, but it doesn't have real-time data and intelligence from what people are facing. So we had to work with the team. We ensured that all of the team was, podcast style interviewed every week. And those were pretty much converted into a lot of posts on social media and their website to ensure that bring in a lot of what we know we as an agency out there in the market to add more unique perspectives to the end consumer. Yeah.
In those steps, what would you say was the most difficult?
The most difficult was getting the data, working with the team across the table to get all the data internally, externally, from the market, from the customers, and then collating it into a structured format so that our team could focus on writing and publishing more content. The data intelligence part itself for content publishing, becomes the most troublesome part. Two is how do you, after you draft all the content possible, get consent from the customer to go ahead and publish. Getting videos from the end consumers itself is a huge task that we had to face. And two, because right now people also expect quality with scale, while quality was ensured by our team with a set of processes and guidelines that we followed, how we feel, skill was developed through processes and AI. So we had to use a lot of good LLMs out there, which can really help us write better content along with our team, ensuring that there is a timely delivery of the content that we are publishing. Along with the content publishing, we were also taking care of putting a lot of money of theirs into these pages and the content we made to ensure that more relevant people get to know how this company is really solving for it and how they're unique in what they do. That means a lot of our team was spending more time running campaigns, doing a lot of data intelligence on top of these ad campaigns and channels to analyze how they are really converting into future customers. So my team was more spending in the creative and media buying part every day. But in the end, we were using a lot of tools as well, which could really and analyze the entire customer journey across the board to understand what kind of customers were coming, how can we really nurture them better, who are really coming, what accounts are being already warmed up, engaged, and converted into opportunities.
And there's one magic question that I love asking, and I'm very curious what your perspective is. If you had unlimited resources, time, people, money, what would you do in this area?
First, I would invest in a good tech stack which could work out the data part, the integration, collaboration part of the table for any content project because it is an integrated project, right? I would definitely invest in people who are very creative with respect to writing, design, storytelling of sorts, which who can come up with better content. The tools are providing them with better data. I would ensure that AI agents are running in the background to provide better intelligence from the market and any new insights from customer calls or across the customer journey so that everything is more streamlined and collected and we're not leaving any gap to tell the story end to end.
Makes sense. So, is there anything else you would add to the points you shared?
Yeah, sure. I would also invest in a lot of influencer focused marketing being the need that are in B2B software buying and tech buying. I would definitely work with teams to identify the right influencers that can be in-house creators on LinkedIn or TikTok and enhance the output that we're getting from the ad campaigns. So that means investing in a lot of influencer marketing program for every kind of awareness, trust, or credibility focused ad campaigns is the need, and I would definitely put my bet on it.
Makes sense. It's very interesting. So, are there any tools that you're using at the moment, your favorite tools to help with these? What does that look like in your process? And would you recommend anything to other professionals, or is there a lack of tools that help with it?
Sure. Recently, one of my favorite tools have been Clay, right? Clay is an amazing tool to really gather a lot of data straight from the internet, from different sources. Since a lot of our work is in account based marketing, both inbound and outbound, the content is primarily acting as a presentation layer for account based marketing program that we do for our clients. Having a good GTM stack and having Clay at the center of this, working with all other lot of the tools is something that I really recommend for people because it gives you a number of insights possible. And two, I would still ensure that you see, yeah, from a design standpoint, I'm still exploring the tool. I don't want to suggest any tools as of
No,
now.
no, makes sense.
I still believe humans are better at designing. Still to get, yeah, right.
No, for sure.
That's it. Clay seems to be the hero, right?
Do you have any questions for us? This is just literally interviewing the experts for us. If it's okay, we would use the interview in a short video format. And
No worries at all. Feel free to do that. Happy to give it all of my consent.
do you have any questions back to us?
What are you guys seeing in the same thing? How are people approaching content, especially in 2025?
Yeah, I think there's a big trend of businesses getting outperformed by other businesses that use AI efficiency. It's just very hard to outperform AI with just manual labor. What we're seeing is a swing back to human generated content. The big question is, how do you use AI assistance while preserving human generated data, and how do you amplify brands in the correct way? So there's a lot of AI detection that's going on, we see, and
Yeah.
doing an excellent job detecting very precise percentages now with the highlights like this is AI generated, this is human generated. So they're blacklisting some of the content and even the mix. We're seeing that there's going to be some sort of change in AI generated labeling, even users able to report that they believe this content is synthetic or fake, and they can report and police the content in this way. So the tools will have to evolve to preserve the human generated aspects and not be like a plug chat GPT and pump out stuff and hope. So we're seeing an evolution in products become better.
I can relate because right now we're sitting in attention and trust is the currency which is needed by a lot of companies, and that's going to stay on the human side of the table. While AI will primarily be used in better decision making, better analysis, gap finding, and productivity related use cases, I still believe that human generated content is nowhere going. It's going to still be more of a dire need in the AI ecosystem and era that we're in.
Yeah, it makes sense. The only metric that matters, at least from all the search algorithm perspectives, is that does the user stay on the page and does the user engage, click? And if you are using AI to assist, then that's fine. But if users are no longer engaging or viewing or they're not staying on content, then we're going to see 90% of that content die and never be seen by anyone. So yeah, so it's an interesting time to figure out personalization like properly.
Yeah, just another point to add is that a lot of marketers don't also explore to leverage the community. How do you leverage the community? How do you leverage customers, ambassadors, fans, and champions of the product to really propagate a movement, right, from your organization? I think this community led movement in marketing is still important because we are sitting where dark social communities are becoming an important channel for people to recommend products and tools between people. While growth marketers are very focused on digital channels, they still have to be very cognizant of the fact that humans need community, and having an online and offline presence is still gonna matter when it comes to really people relating and knowing more about your brand and associating with you. I'm very excited to work on those elements of the table for especially for my clients because everybody is gonna be needing that. That can be even a sales led enterprise focused company or a very simple subscription focused easy to use tools.
Makes sense. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I want to thank for your time.